there was this urge inside that this is not where I am meant to be.
In regards to the closed ones, they are someone where we have to give them a mental satisfaction ki theek hai, this can happen. How did you convince them?
So when you dream, that dream is very real for you. Yes or no? Where were you? Where was your consciousness at that time? So you were in another plane. That plane is called the astral plane. I have dealt with people who have some kind of possessions.
Or can this past extend to past lives as well?
From this is the final boarding call for Fly High Airlines to we regret to announce a delay of 1 hour 30 minutes. We have all been in such situations. Here, the important thing is that the flight does take off and that the journey is not cancelled. The very same applies to our lives because some people find the calling of their lives on time while some people take their own time to find it. But the most important thing is to find the purpose of your life. Today, I am going to introduce you to Mr. Nandakumar Gopalan. He has a 28 years of long experience in doing jobs in the field of marketing executive and training for IT industry. Then one day, he found the calling of his heart and he opened up his own office in Chennai by the name of Wellness Mentor Consulting. There, he is now a psychotherapist and he helps patients who are struggling with mental and emotional well-being. He is a master at hypnosis, face reading and dowsing. He also conducts many corporate wellness trainings in big companies. Some of the companies in which he has conducted corporate trainings are TCS, Bayer, Nippon Paints and Adani Ports. He holds a master's degree in counseling psychology and an MBA degree in agribusiness management. Now let us jump right into the podcast to find out how he transformed from being mainstream to following his own heart successfully.
Hello Nandakumar ji, how are you?
Hello Prathamesh, I am good. How are you?
I am good, thanks. So, although I have given a brief introduction of your journey to our viewers, can you throw some light on your journey post your graduation?
Okay, graduation was in agriculture. So,
Achha.
but pre-graduation, my intention was to be a doctor.
Okay.
But since I didn't get those kind of that cut-off marks and all that and reservations and all that, I missed it by very narrow margin.
Oh.
Then I decided, okay, what came to me, I'll study. So that's how I got into agriculture and then I did a management. So then got into corporate agri-business companies and I worked for about 14 years in that segment.
And your role was there of more of marketing?
More of operations. I was initially into operations and then I moved into sales and marketing. So that's how I did. And then it so happened that one of my friends who was running an IT training company, I used to go and I used to give tips to their salespeople, front office people, how to convert and all those things.
Because you already were in that role.
I was already in that role. And my friend was asking me, why don't you come and join us?
Achha.
And that was one, I would say, a particular moment where I decided, okay, fine, why not I quit and join this. And all my friends and colleagues who were in that IT industry, in the agri-business industry, in fact, my VP told me, Nandakumar, you want to come back. At that time, I was working in a company called EAD Parry, Murugappa Group.
Okay.
And so my VP said, you're going to come back. I don't think you will stay there for even a year.
Oh.
But then I proved him wrong. Another 14 years I was there in the IT industry. So I learned from the scratch all those terminologies, everything. And I was again into sales and marketing. That company was doing a small retail business of running a training center. Took it into corporate. So and got major clients like TCS and all. We started working for those kind of clients. So that was my next 14 years. But even during those times, there was this urge inside that this is not where I am meant to be. So if you ask me for a eureka moment, I would say that eureka moment was for me to get into pranic healing. Maybe that's what I would call it as a eureka moment, because That was a time when my parents retired. My one thought which always used to be in my head was, if they fall sick, how can I help them? How will I take care of them? I used to read about mind, subconscious mind. I used to dabble in all what you call as this metaphysical stuff. So I went in search of Reiki and landed up in pranic healing. That's what happened. Once I got into pranic healing and started practicing all the different aspects of pranic healing, that gave me confidence. So it's healing, right? And I told you I wanted to become a doctor. So this was growing slowly inside me. And a stage came when I started, while working there, I started taking classes for many of my friends. We had a training room and all that. So facility was there. So whatever subjects I used to learn, understand relating to mind, subconscious mind and all, I used to take classes.
Acha.
As I started doing that,
So, while you were taking these classes, were you also part of the IT
Yes,
company
yes.
that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Both were
I was
going simultaneously.
it was more like no, Saturdays, Sundays, my passion. I was building my passion. Okay, let us contribute something. And I was also a member of a business networking organization called BNI. By the time I had joined this organization,
Acha.
and so there also I used to tell people, come, I'll take class. So like that, people used to come, and so a stage came where I wanted to really know what is my purpose of life. I remember the date. It's July 12th of 2017. I had heard about Ikigai, okay,
Yeah,
the
the
Japanese
Japanese
concept of
flow.
the purpose of your life and all that. So I sat one day, locked myself in a room, and then I started writing my Ikigai, literally. So started answering those critical 4 questions. If money was not a constraint in your life, what will you love doing? The second question is about what are your talents and skills you have. The third is, what problem of the world can you solve? And then the fourth is, what can you get paid for? So this started, and that I iterated it for almost a week. And that gave me a clear indication that I am not in the right place. So this sales and marketing, what I am doing for this IT training company, is not where I need to be, and I need to switch.
The time when you got this thought, at what stage of life were you in? Like, were you married? What was your responsibility?
I was married. I had a son. Obviously, requirement and demand of earning money was definitely there. My wife was working at that time. She was working at that time, and so that was a
Support.
It was at almost at 50.
50 as in?
50 as when I was 50. That is, it's when I turned
age-wise.
50, age-wise.
This is a particularly difficult thing then. At such a age, if you want to change the whole aspect of your career, I think that is not what everyone can do.
That is very true. And I was taking a tremendous amount of risk. I decided to come out of that IT training company, sell my shares, and come out of it. So then it took some time. It took 2 years for me to actually hand over everything to them and then come out. And then I started this Wellness Mentor Consulting, which was completely into helping people solve emotional mental health issues.
And you made up your mind that this is something I need to quit, this is something I need to start.
Yeah.
Now, before taking that decision, how did it go when you conveyed this to your wife, maybe your parents and your child?
My wife was fully supporting. She has always supported me, so she was
That's
fully
great.
supporting. She said, "Do what you want to do," and she has never ever prevented me from going the way I wanted. Even while I quit this corporate company, Murugappa Group, a company like Murugappa Group, which was career-wise, which was really, really very good. So even when I decided to quit and come to this small IT training company, entrepreneurship and all that, she
had your back.
She was always supportive. Of course, I had objections from my sister. My mother was very apprehensive. She didn't know what will happen and all that. And we are coming from a very traditional, middle class family where salary is the most important thing.
So 2 questions. First is in regards to the closed ones, as in your sister and your mother. They are someone where we have to give them a mental satisfaction ki theek hai, this can happen. So how did that go? Like, how did you convince them? And second question is regarding the friends which asked you not to take this big risk. then how did you convince yourself कि नहीं, I can do this regardless of what anyone tells me?
Prathamesh, somehow, I don't know, it is natural or from somewhere, I had a lot of confidence about myself. Not overconfidence, but confidence.
That's great.
Okay, always had.
So that takes part of the discouragement.
So that takes part of all the
Told
other
by
discouragements told by friends. With my sister and with my mother and all, it was more emotional.
So how did you deal with
It
that?
was more emotional. It was more like, no, see, again, there, they value what I tell. My sister, even though she's my elder sister, she doesn't come and say, no, you're doing the wrong thing, I'll not agree, and all those kinds of things. She said, okay, you explore and see. Anyway, you have knowledge, you have degree, you can fall back. If at all you want to fall back, you can always fall back. Like what you told me just earlier. So like that. So she was also okay. You try.
So when you were a director in the IT company, you would be earning well. But now once you quit that and you started something of your own, in the initial years it is always very gradual, the money inflow.
Very true.
So how did you deal with that? How did you deal with the earning responsibility you had?
Initially, it was not very difficult because my wife was also working. So I had her support and I had my own savings also. So initially that was not an issue. But later on what happened was that she lost her job.
Acha.
And my son after his 12th went to college. His expenditure was definitely there. And later on, that is after 3 years of college, he wanted to go to Canada. And so that extra expenditure was there. Still my wife was not working. So though very recently, just 10 days back, my wife landed up in a job. So almost for a year from, if you look back, 1.5 years or something, she has not been working. So yes, there has been challenging moments. I would never say no. I would not say that it has been a very dream kind of a journey. There have been roller coaster rides. There have been months when it was very difficult for me to make both ends meet, and I had to delve into my savings, or she had to take it from her savings and all that. Those kind of things have happened. Not that it has not happened. Entrepreneurship, and especially when you are into a solopreneurship initially, so that's not a bed of roses. You definitely will have challenges. You will definitely have money issues. But if your conviction is very strong, and I was very convinced that I am on the right track and I am doing the right thing. And along with that, I joined for my PG in MSc Counseling Psychology also. So I had to spend time to study, write exams, do internship. Because once I have come to this line, I wanted to get qualified in this area also. A degree is needed. Let that also be there. So all these things were there. Everything was going together.
When you were within the 14 years of IT job, say your earning was at 10, and then when you started off on your own, let's say that came to 7. Okay. So now currently you are completely doing something of your own that everyone knows. So now what would you say your earning is at?
See, I am fairly at my previous levels, or even slightly better than that also.
Excellent. So now this actually will give you more motivation, right? Because you are earning also more, and of course you are doing something that you like.
But I did some experiments also, so it didn't just like that happen.
Of course.
So the business plan, whatever I was planning, once you come into a business, then you need to look at it as a business. So the income stream or the revenue stream. So I was thinking of only one revenue stream, which was counseling. But then I knew that one revenue stream alone is not enough. Then I need to look at other revenue streams. So I got into corporate training. I started consulting on Vastu and all that. So like that, multiple revenue streams, at least 2-3 revenue streams I generated. So I started focusing on not one revenue stream, but other revenue streams which can help or support what you need to have based on my knowledge, my experience and my domain expertise.
Now you are financially and mentally much happier than what you were in the 28 years of job.
More than financially, forget financial. I am so very mentally happy and so peaceful in what I am doing today. So for me, I have at least realized that I have discovered the purpose of my life. So when I'm helping people solve their emotional mental health issues, making their life better, one person at a time or a group of people at a time, it gives me tremendous amount of satisfaction. So when I go home every day evening, I'm at bliss.
In fact, that is what every man directly or indirectly wants. So, when you decided to start off something on your own, and when you started doing that, what pros and cons would you say you faced?
When I started, I didn't. I had done an MBA, but then I realized that when I'm attending programs, courses related to psychology or anything like that, I found that most of my classmates who were all there, I never knew all these jargons, terms, terminologies, and all that. So it was all new to me. So that told me that I need to upskill. So that's what made me go and do a post graduation in counseling psychology. So and at this stage, when we don't even write with a pen today, writing 3 hours of exam was itself a challenge.
So, basically, a con here would come out as adjusting. You had to adjust a lot as
You
per the
had to
situation.
you sacrifice a lot of your other things. That is a con in terms of, see, without effort you don't get marks, right? So the effort you needed to put was high.
This is one con that we can say is you have to adjust as per the demands of the practical situation. Pros though we all know, but still
So pros though it was, see, ultimately it is like your calling, no? That is the biggest pro, I would say, that you are finding the purpose of your life. You know that this is what I want to do. This is what is making me happy.
this is what you were born to do.
This is what is making me happy. And even if I don't get paid for this also, I'll be happy to do this. Even though I don't get paid to do this, I'll be happy to do this. So once I have touched that space, that's the biggest motivator, I would say.
So now Nandakumarji, tell us about what aspects of work do you handle?
Okay, so what I do now professionally, if you ask me what I do, I fundamentally focus on helping people overcome their emotional mental issues.
Okay.
And I don't just restrict there because I have a background in pranic healing, energy related stuff. So energy side, I explore the energy aspect of the human being also. So when I talk about energy aspect of the human being, a person may have problems not just because of what they are thinking. Yes, their thoughts are, yes, definitely very important. Their emotions are definitely very important. But their environment can also play a very, very important role in terms of their mental health and emotional health. Now, when I say environment, there are two things. One is the physical environment, like you are in the company of bad people. But there is, when you look at it energetically, there are spaces where the energy may not be okay. Now, that's where the concept of Vastu comes in, or Feng Shui comes in.
Acha.
Okay, so your house may not be designed in a manner which is harmonious to the energy. So there could be your place hankering negative energy. You might have taken a rented house where somebody would have committed a suicide somewhere previously. And then there could be some other energies there in that place which could affect you. You may not be knowing all these things, or you might not know that this is the cause or reason. So these kind of things can happen. You might have built a house which was many years before a burial place. And you will see that every time you would come with a complaint saying that husband and wife, we are always fighting. And we don't know why you are fighting. Once you are out of the house, we are outside anywhere, we are very nice. We are very harmonious, we enjoy our relationship, excellent. Nothing comes between us that we are not fighting at all. But the moment we enter our house, for some reason or other, we keep fighting. So now that is associated with the energy of the place.
So in this aspect, do you think that doing a Vastu Shanti before moving into a place is important?
Very important. Very, very important. Those traditions and practices have got a lot of science behind.
Acha.
We call it superstitious belief because we don't know what is the science.
Great. So you're into Vastu consultations also.
Also, yes.
So Vastu consultation is
Vastu consultation also one difference.
Psychotherapy you said.
Yeah.
Pranic healing as well.
Pranic
right?
healing, hypnotherapy.
Acha.
I do
So
hypnosis.
what is hypnotherapy?
Hypnotherapy is about uncovering the aspects of a human being which is sitting deep inside the subconscious mind. Okay, many of our patterns of behavior today, or many of our issues what we might have today, can be related to what we have faced in childhood.
Acha, because that sits in the subconscious.
That's in when you are a child, when you are about until the age of about 8 to 10 and all that, you don't really have a conscious mind. So, for example, if a child which is 1 year old, 1.5 years old, does not feel confident with its mother, like the primary caregiver, okay, and feels that the mother may leave her, or let's say that child had a mother who used to go for work, and this child used to feel lonely, then as an adult, this person can have trust issues with people.
Acha. So
Because
how
the
can
child is not-
hypnotherapy help him?
So here what we do is we regress them, we call it as age regression. So we regress and find out where this issue started. Hypnosis is a way of directly accessing the subconscious mind, keeping the conscious mind calm. So we access those memories which are lying there deep inside and correct them if needed, reprogram them.
Nandakumar ji, do ghosts or spirits or something which we cannot see really exist? And if so, first of all, I'll ask you what is your belief system, and second question would be, have you experienced something of that sort in your career?
Okay, when you talk about ghosts and spirits and all that, it is highly dramatized in movies. Okay, but if you ask the question, are those kinds of entities there? Yes, is the answer.
Okay.
Yes is the answer. Now, so basically, when you sleep, we all have dreams, right? We all have dreams. So when you dream, that dream is very real for you. Yes or no? You feel it very real. Okay, then only when you wake up, you know that it's not a dream. Where were you? Where was your consciousness at that time? So you were in another plane. That plane is called the astral plane or the emotional plane. That's where you dream. So when a person dies also, the soul leaves the physical body and goes into the astral plane.
Acha.
Now for some people, because of their attachment to the material world, because of their attachment to people maybe, they don't want to go there. And they will try to get associated or linger around. Now these two planes are not like this is one area and that is another area. It's all intermixed. So this is where this parallel universe theory and all is now coming in quantum physics. Slowly string theory, parallel multiverse theory and all is coming in quantum physics. Is slowly getting related to our Eastern sciences. So these entities without the physical body but with other bodies. So we all have an energy body. So in addition to the physical body, we have an emotional body, mental body, other bodies are there. In Sanskrit, we call it as koshas. Panchakoshas and all you would have heard.
Yes.
So without the physical body, the soul with the other bodies exists. It lives. It continues its journey.
Have you had some practical experience in this regard in your career?
Now practical experience in the sense I have dealt with people who have some kind of possessions. So possessions meaning there would be some other energies influencing this person, holding on to them or getting connected with them. So in some movies you might have
these
seen
would be those spirits who are not ready to leave this place.
leave the place, or they are very closely connected to this person, or they want to complete certain things in this physical world, and they don't realize that they don't have a physical body, so they try to acquire a physical body.
Adhuri ichha.
Adhuri Icha and all that, they try to have some kind of a thing which they might be able to connect. So these things can happen, and it has, at least I have also helped some people come out of that also using divine.
Was it scary at that time?
It's nothing scary. We know that there is some other energy working with them, and
Any one case that you remember of possession which has stayed with you?
there was a small boy whose mother brought that child and said that this child was behaving cranky and very aggressive, very small boy, about 5 years of age or something
Oh.
like that, and behaving in a very, very different
small
manner.
kid.
And nights blabbering something, talking gibberish, those kind of things. And because I have a pranic healing background, I can scan and see if there is anything like that, and I detected that there is some kind of energy there, some possession energy which is related to that particular house.
Oh.
And then I asked them to do some puja. So my way of helping them overcome that is, there is something else called black magic, that is completely different. So I told them to go to temple, do some puja on the child regularly and all that. So the idea of doing these kind of pujas and all regularly is to bring down a lot of divine energy. So when divine energy is coming into your energy body and your energy body is filled with divine energy, these kind of other energies cannot exist there. The child became all right after about 14 days or something like that. So these are things which are possible. There was one lady from Mumbai who told me that every day night there are people coming in orange robes and sitting near her in the bed, not allowing her to sleep, troubling her all the day, and all those kinds of things. So these are things which people experience. Now in medical terms, we say we have a term for this, which is called schizophrenia. Okay, but many, in my experience at least, some of these schizophrenia cases are not the typical schizophrenia stuff, but it is related to some kind of partial possessions. So very recently there was a lady in Hyderabad who was telling that she's seeing a small girl sitting in her house. She's able to see her every day, she's crying, she wants my help. Nicely dressed, she was even describing the kind of dress that girl was wearing. And this lady is a nurse, medical nurse.
That was a spirit she was seeing.
She was seeing some kind of an entity like that.
Acha Nandakumar ji, you also mentioned that in hypnosis you use it to tap into the subconscious of the patient and see where in the past a problem has occurred which is causing these lot of problems. But does this past or can this past extend to past lives as well?
One is that we basically look at what is the problem in the current life. Now, if you don't get anything which is relevant to the current problem what they are facing, then we regress them into their mother's womb. So sometimes the trauma what the person is facing as an adult today is based on what they have undergone when they were as a fetus in their mother's womb. Now, if you don't get it there also, that's the time when we do a past life regression.
Okay.
So then you take them into their past life to see where they had. There was this lady who had a lot of apprehension about her near and dear ones traveling.
Acha.
Her husband travels somewhere from home or children travel somewhere. She will be highly agitated. She doesn't know why she is getting agitated. Logic tells her nothing is going to happen, but she will have tremendous amount of fear. And she can't handle that fear. It will be so high that she will keep continuously calling, to the extent of her husband becoming so angry, irritated. Why are you following up with me like this? To that extent. So I did a past life regression for her, and in one of her past lives, she was a elder sister, and she had her younger sister whom she had to, it was more like going to school or in a bus and all those kinds of things, where she lost this younger sister, and that had tremendously hit this girl in her in that particular life. It has affected her so much that today, if anybody is traveling, something related to travel, she gets agitated. So taking her there, making her see that instance, understand that this is where your problem started. Now, once they see that issue and they are able to understand that, and if they are able to connect it with this, after that fear, now this person is okay. She doesn't have that problem. So she had called later and said, now I'm okay, I don't have that issue. I'm able to handle it even if it is there.
Okay. So now let us come to the psychotherapy aspect. I would want you to give two such cases which you have cracked and which have stayed with you till today?
See, there is one case where there was a lady who had a tremendous amount of hate for her mother. Because when she was 3 months old, her mother gave this baby to her sister to take care.
Acha.
So, whatever she underwent in that sister's house, okay, not her mother. So, she always had this grudge that her mother didn't take care of her. And now, presently, in her adult life, she had to take care of her mother. Her mother was dependent on her and she was coming to live with her. So, her problem was, I have this tremendous amount of anger. And her anger towards her mother was that you didn't take care of me, you are not my mother. I did an age regression. Okay, when I did an age regression, took her to her mother's womb, what she told was, it's very dark. My father has put my mother in a shop and put the shutters on. My mother is very scared. Why your mother is scared? Because my father does not want a girl child. So, she is worried about me. She is worried about me. She does not want a girl child. So, I asked her, now are you able to know that maybe the reason why your mother gave you off to her sister in her 3rd month was to safeguard you? Which was the truth. But the mother then revealed this to the daughter at any point of time in her life because she didn't want the daughter to hate the father.
Oh.
Now this resolved the conflict what this person was having with her mother. Today the both of them are living very happily.
Because now she knew that what her mother did was actually the right thing for her. I have one more question for you. A lot of people, a lot of youth and also students are confused as to how can they turn their passion into their career, and you have done that. So what would your advice be for one, the people who are in the student phase who have not yet decided their careers, and second, for people who are now into jobs but now want to get out of there and live their passion?
I would recommend what I did. Okay, answer these 4 questions. These are basically 4 questions which can actually convert your passion into your profession.
Okay.
The first question is, if money was not a constraint for you, what will you love doing? List out all the things under that. You can say, I love traveling, I would love singing, I would love reading books. The second question is, what are your skills and talents? Write all your skills and all your talents, your degrees, your qualifications. And in that you might say that I'm a people person, I can organize events, I can coordinate with people, I am an extroverted person, I do this, I do that. Now the third question is the most important question. What problem of the world can you solve? Now this answer to this question must be derived from 1 and 2. For example, let's say I love traveling is what I have written in the first. Seeing places. In the second one, I have written that my communication skills are good, my language is good, I can write, read, talk and all that I have written there in the second. Then what problem of the world can I solve? When I go to these kind of places, when I travel to different remote places, I can write about them, blog about them or make a video about them and say how people can come to this place, where they can reach, how they can reach, flight, car, bus, where they can stay. So I can give them information about this place. So that is the problem I am solving. So all the multiple things, you would have written 10 items in the first one and you would have written about 10-15 things about your skills and talent in the second one. With all permutations and combinations, what all problems of the world can you solve? Then you come to the last question, what can you get paid for? That's the fourth question. Now this answer has to be derived from 1, 2 and 3. So now if I have said travel as an example, I can become a YouTube channel. I can have my own YouTube channel where I put about all this, talk about all these things. I can join a company like makemytrip.com. I can join a travel company and become a travel guide, which means my passion is becoming my profession and I am getting paid for that.
This I can say applies 100% to students because they are yet to start their journey. But now say for example, if Mr. X is already into a job and he knows that He's just earning there, he's not enjoying work. And say he applies this formula, and something like a travel blogger comes to be his passion, and he is now doing a job. Now, transforming this job to travel blogger will have some money constraints. So, how will people who already are stuck can make use of this?
Very good question, Prathamesh. So what they need to do, okay, they should have a timeline in order to upskill themselves so that they reach there. In terms of if at all a skill is needed, they need to upskill. If they have to have money, a corpus amount which they need to have. Now, if I have to keep on traveling, I need money. So which means I need to have some kind of funding, right? So for that I need to save. Maybe this company where I am working, corporate company, I will start saving money. That would be one thing I will do. Whenever I get holidays, I will go and visit these kind of places. I take my paid vacation, I go there, I start doing my videos and all that, small things, writing about them or reading about them, talking about them. I start doing it as a part-time. And when I do that, I will know what are the challenges there, what are the constraints there, what are the difficulties there, where is there any need for me to skill up, is there something I need to buy as an equipment. All these things I will come to know. Once I build the confidence, the courage, I know that I have money backing also, financial backing. So then, that's why I am saying you should take that time. It can be 1 year, 2 years, depending upon whatever. And then once you are very clear about it, then make the switch. Then quit your job and come here.
So, Nandakumarji, I see a nice book kept here. When did this happen and how did this happen?
I joined an organization called TLC, Teachers Are Leaders, where they were helping authors, trainers, coaches to become great speakers and speakers, authors, trainers and all that. It was a forum meant exclusively for such people. So there, that initiative of writing book was there. And I was already doing this as a workshop. This was actually a workshop which I was doing called From Pain to Gain.
Achha.
And in that workshop, what I used to work on was thoughts and feelings. Based on thoughts and feelings, which is there in our mind, we fall into what kind of quadrants in life. So I talk about 4 life positions. So if your thoughts are negative and you're thinking about the past, that's your pain. If your feelings are negative, but you're thinking about the future, then that's your fear. Future negative is fear. Past negative is pain. Yesterday my wife fought with me, and still today I'm thinking about it. I'm reliving that moment where I had a fight with my wife. That's pain. I don't know what kind of job I'm going to get. Will I get promoted? Will they do an appraisal? That's fear. Will I earn money? So that's fear. But if you just transform that negative feeling into positive feeling, you look at it positively instead of looking at it negatively, then the past event becomes learning. You learn from your past. And if you project it into the future, you start growing. So that is gaining in life. So those 4 quadrants, what I mentioned is, one is the pain quadrant, the other is the fear quadrant, the third is the learn quadrant, and the fourth is the gain quadrant. So this book is about how do you move from this pain quadrant to the gain quadrant. And in addition to this, I talk about a 5th quadrant called the present. Now you and me are talking, we are in the present. Many times we ignore this present. But the significance of the present is that all decisions in life we make from here. But those decisions have been influenced either by your pains or by your fears, or by your learnings or experiences, or by your success stories. Now, if they were influenced by your pain or fear, do you think those decisions would be right? That person hurt me. I am not going to talk to him. So, I am not going to talk to him is a decision which I am making today, but it is coming out of my pain. I don't like this boss, so I am quitting this company. Pain. Or what will happen if this happens to me? So, your entire character changes based on the decision you take. So, this book is about that. So, how can you be more in the present and what steps you can do? I have given some tools and techniques how to come out of this pain and fear.
Like you're saying that we should not take any decision in those two quadrants, right? Then
Sitting-
isn't that the survival instinct or the coping mechanism of the
It is the
organism?
coping mechanism, but is it a positive coping mechanism or is it a negative coping mechanism? That's the question. See, for example, fear has got its own use in some cases. If I don't lock my house and go, maybe somebody can steal it. So I lock my house. Okay, so in those cases it's good. But
Exactly.
in most cases, fear pulls you down. Fear doesn't allow you to explore.
So while taking those decisions, you have to have that rational mind working
So
as well.
the point is you need to come to the present. You need to come to the present and say what is the, you can use the word rational mind also. Use your rational mind to rationalize and see instead of sitting here and wallowing in pain or wallowing in fear.
Nandakumarji, there is one more scenario that comes into my mind. Since you are 50 plus now, so for those people who are 45 plus, have a family, okay? In your case, you are lucky that your wife is always with you in all the decisions that you make. But in case of a person, say a person is living with his parents, wife, children, and his parents and wife are not supportive of him leaving a job and doing something of his own, then what advice would you give him or her? It may happen her also. Maybe
Correct.
husband
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not supportive.
Yeah, true. See, that's a challenging situation. Okay.
Very.
Very challenging situation. So the first thing what this person has to do is to work on giving confidence to the family members. He has to work on that. He needs to clear that area. If he says that I'm not going to be bothered about what you people think, but I'm going to do what I want to do, he is definitely going to face difficulties, challenges. See, we all need support systems in life. Family is a very strong support system, especially when you are in pain. Even when you are in fear. They help you resolve many of your apprehensions. Friends are a very strong support system. So we need to have the support system, which means that we need to work on them, convince them, talk to them, make them understand that what I am doing is not going to jeopardize the family unit in a major way. See, what will be their fear? What if this income is not there? Will our family suffer? Will our child's education suffer? So all that needs to be addressed. So taking their support only, I would recommend for anyone to go. And I would always say, please always have a mentor. Have somebody in your family, friend circle or anywhere who has already gone through that journey, who can help you.
It was quite an interesting and insightful conversation, I would say. I'm sure viewers would say the same. So I thank you a lot for coming to this podcast and sharing your insights, your knowledge, your real life experience on how you transform to a passion living life.
Thank you, Prathamesh. It was great having you also here. You have come all the way from Mumbai. And
Yes, we are in Chennai. Yes.
we are in Chennai now. You have come all the way from Mumbai to do this podcast. I am so glad that I have been a part. I am being a part of this podcast, and I wish Prathamesh and his podcast all the very best, and to the viewers also. May the rest of your life be the best of your lives.
Thank you guys, and
Thank
thank
you.
you Nandakumarji.
Thank you.